module. So under this we will go through decision tree induction, method for comparing the classifiers, and the rule based classifiers, nearest neighbor, and Bayesian classifiers. You might be familiar with these nearest neighbor classifiers, isn't it? You might have heard this. All these will discuss in this under this module, classification. Okay, let's start with decision tree induction. So it's one of the classifier, and it's a simple one but widely used classification technique. So here we construct a decision tree. How do we construct a decision tree? As you all know, tree deciding on whether a particular, you will put some condition in the root node. If it's satisfied, you branch to one side, and if it is true to one side, false another side, in the same way. So a series of decisions can be taken by using this decision tree. So how does it work? We'll just take an example. So if we have to, there is a simple version of the vertebrate classification problem, which was like this. Unit actually starts from 4.3, the chapter number 4, and the subsection 3, 4.3. So they just say that as described in the previous section. So there is a problem of vertebrate. So we have to classify. There it was, these vertebrates were classified into 5 distinct group of species. Now here in this decision tree induction, we just assign them to 2 categories, that is mammals and non-mammals. So we have taken a simple version of vertebrate classification, where we will just assign them into 2 categories, mammals and non-mammals. And suppose if a particular new species is discovered, and how the scientist will just tell whether it is a mammal or non-mammal. That is what we will see through decision tree induction. So for that, you can just have a series of questions posed regarding the characteristics of the species. Like if some species is given, we will ask whether we will pose a series of questions like whether the species is cold or warm-blooded. And with that, we can just say that if it is cold-blooded, then it is definitely not a mammal, because all mammals are warm-blooded. Likewise, a series of questions will be posted, and then we try to, about the characteristics of the species, and then we try to just classify among which group it belongs, whether it belongs to mammal or non-mammal. So if the answer for the question is cold-blooded, then we can say that it is not a mammal. So an example it's shown here. So whatever example we will take up next will help us to solve the classification problem by asking a series of carefully crafted questions about the attributes of the test record. So whatever record you want to test, for that we will ask series of questions carefully, and then we try to classify that particular test record into mammal or non-mammal. So each time we receive an answer for any particular question, we will have one more follow-up question asked. And how long do we continue this? We continue with this until we reach a conclusion about the class label of the record. So for a particular test record, until we find any answer, we just keep on asking the questions. So these series of questions and their possible answers, we will organize in the form of decision tree. So it's nothing but an hierarchical structure which consists of nodes and directed edges. Okay. So how do we solve any problem? We'll just construct a tree hierarchical structure with nodes and directed edges, and we'll ask series of questions, and we'll just branch accordingly whether whichever answer is suitable for that particular question, and we continue like that until we reach a conclusion about the class label of the record. So, as an example, if we take, so here this tree is a decision tree. This 4.4 is a decision tree for the mammal classification problem. Here we have 3 types of nodes, as you can see. The root node, wherein there will be no incoming edges for this. and it will have either 0 or more outgoing edges. Okay, we will have 3 types of nodes, that is root node, internal node and terminal nodes. So root node is what? Root node is the one which has no incoming edges and it has 0 or more outgoing edges. And these internal nodes, internal nodes will have exactly one incoming edge and 2 or more outgoing edges. It can have 2 or more outgoing edges, but it can have only one incoming edge, right? So that depends on the decision whatever is taken in the previous level. So it can have one incoming edge and 2 or more outgoing edges. And finally, we have these leaf or terminal nodes. And these terminal nodes, in the sense, it's terminating there, as you all know. So it will obviously have no outgoing edges and it can have exactly one incoming edge. So 3 types of nodes. Now, in this decision tree, each leaf node is assigned a class label. You see here it is assigned a class label. So we have to classify that particular test record among mammal or non-mammal, whether it is a mammal or non-mammal. So we have this class label assigned to each leaf node. Here for this we bifurcate and say whether it is mammal or non. Here also we can say whether it is mammal. These are leaf nodes and they will have the class label. So these non-terminal nodes here, these are non-terminal. This is a non-terminal node here. These 3 are terminal nodes, isn't it? So this non-terminal node, which includes this internal node and the root node. This is the internal node and the root node, will have the conditions to separate the records that have different characteristics. For example, if a particular body temperature of that particular test record, what we are trying to find out to which class it belongs. If it is warm, it goes this side. If it is cold, this way. So test condition. So it separates the record that have different characteristics. If we have multiple records, we can just classify or we can just separate them depending on this test condition. This classifying a test record, it's a very straightforward approach once a decision tree has been constructed. So we start from the root node, we apply the test condition and follow the appropriate branch based on the outcome of the test. So that will lead us to another internal node or it may lead to a leaf node. It may lead us to to another internal node for which again you will have one more test condition or to a leaf node. And whatever class label is associated with that leaf node is then assigned to that record as an example. So if it terminates here, then it means that particular test record is a non-mammal. If it terminates here, again same. If it terminates here, so this class label is the result. The class label associated with the leaf node is assigned to the record. So if at all, if we try to trace the same thing with the help of an example, so we can just say that so here we have the body temperature. So this diagram 4.4 will use the attribute body temperature to separate this warm-blooded animals, vertebrates from cold-blooded vertebrates. And as we all know that all cold-blooded vertebrates are non-mammals, we have assigned the leaf node which is labeled as non-mammals here. So this is right child of the root node. And on the other hand, if the vertebrate is warm-blooded, we will just have to have one more attribute, that is gives birth, which is used to distinguish mammals from other warm-blooded creatures like birds, some birds. Okay, they are also, some birds are blooded. So we will have this gives birth attribute again to distinguish mammal from other warm-blooded creatures like birds. So classifying the test record here, as we have seen here, it's a straightforward approach. So as I said, we'll start moving. As an example, we can take this where we trace the path of the particular test record, flamingo. If this is the name which and name of a test record, and if we have to find out what type of to which class it belongs, then this here we trace the path into the decision tree to find the class label of a flamingo, and according to this it is warm. After that tested network issues today, lot of network issues. So the call got disconnected, Soumya. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there are a lot of network issues. We are in college.
It's
Suddenly
ec-
it got.
it's echoing also, ma'am.
Huh? Sorry?
Echo is also heard, like voice is repeating.
Not here. Now also.
Now it's okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay. I've connected through my hotspot. Even that got disconnected just now. Okay. Yeah. So as I said, we just try to trace the path in the decision tree, which is used to predict the class level of this flamingo. This is the test record. So the path terminates at the leaf node labeled non-mammal, so that we can say that it belongs to the class non-mammals. Flamingo belongs to the class non-mammals. So we just at each step we try to make decisions. We started here, and depending, see, body temperature was given, so we traced here, and then this, it doesn't give birth, so we ended up with the class non-mammals here. Fine. So decision tree for the mammal classification problem. And this is an example for that. So how to build this decision tree? So there are many decision trees that can be constructed from a given set of attributes. If you are given with a certain set of attributes, you can create many decision trees, that is exponential. So while some of the trees are more accurate than others, finding the optimal tree, you will be knowing this, isn't it? In data structure also we had this, but for you syllabus was changed. Earlier it was there. Finding optimal tree is infeasible because the size of search space is exponential. It grows exponentially, so it becomes very difficult to construct all the tree and find out which is optimal. So this optimal tree is computationally infeasible. So they have come up with algorithms to introduce the reasonable accurate, which is Albert suboptimal decision tree, to get the result in a reasonable amount of time. And all these algorithms which have been used usually employ a greedy strategy, wherein we grow a decision tree by making series of decisions. If you will remember greedy strategy, can you give one example for greedy strategy? Any algorithm, whatever you remember under greedy strategy? Those who have already done with the DA, all are done with the DA, isn't it? So any example for greedy approach? Anybody? Example of any greedy approach you remember? So here we say that it applies a greedy approach. Yes? No one will answer? Any example? Any algorithm you remember which you had solved under greedy approach? Where you took a series of decisions? Any problem?
Dijkstra's.
Oh, Shreya, full ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ? Okay, Dijkstra's, you have knapsack, we have jobs, you would have studied job sequencing with deadlines, all those, isn't it? We make a series of decisions. Here also all algorithms which are used here in decision tree induction will apply a greedy strategy, where the tree grows by making a series of decision about which attribute to use in order to partition the data. So one such algorithm, whatever we'll discuss, will be Hunt's algorithm, and we will discuss this Hunt's algorithm in the next class, and this serves as the basis for many existing decision tree induction algorithms, like the one which are specified here, like ID3, C4.5 and CART. So in Hunt's algorithm, what we do, I'll brief you. So what is this? This is one of the example or one such algorithm which is used to create a decision tree, and it forms basis for many existing decision tree induction algorithms. So in Hunt's algorithm, a decision tree is grown in a recursive fashion. So we just partition the training records into successively purer subsets. So it grows in a recursive fashion. We just try to partition the training records into subsets, successively purer subsets, and we will use DT. Let DT be the set of training records that are associated with the node T. So if for a particular node T, we will have DT, where it is represents the set of training records which will be associated with that particular node, and we'll also have class labels Y1, Y2 up to YC. So the recursive definition of Hunt's algorithm goes like this. If all the records in one particular, all the training records belong to DT, they belong to the same class YT. Then T is a leaf node that labeled as YT. We'll take an example and we'll do it so that it will be more clear for us. So if DT contain records that belong to more than one class, then what we have to do is we have to perform an attribute test condition to partition the record into smaller subsets, isn't it? So if all the records will belong to the same class, then we will have a leaf node labeled as YT. On the other hand, if it contains records that belong to more than one class, then we have to do an attribute test condition to partition the records into smaller subsets. And then a child node is created for each outcome of the test condition, and the records whatever are in DT will be distributed to the children node based on the outcomes. Then we apply this recursively to each child node as we have seen here. So if this is considered as child node, again depending on attributes we'll further bifurcate. If it's stopping here in this example for this mammal. But it may happen so that it may continue like that depending on the attributes whatever we are selecting. We will be able to bifurcate, and then finally we will be able to distribute the records based on the to the children based on the outcomes. So it's a recursive algorithm, and with an example we'll just see it in the next class.